Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. This is a really fun project. It's how to make fabric flowers. All you need is one long strip of fabric. You gather it up and you put it onto your stem. Okay, let's get started. My strip of fabric is about 40 inches long. The width depends on how big you want your flower. This piece of fabric is 5 inches wide, which gives you about a medium width or large flower. If you want a bigger flower, then of course you cut your fabric wider, but the length is still about the same. I'm using a stem off of the trees in our yard. If you're making a bouquet of these artificial fabric flowers, cut your stems in a variety of lengths so it looks more natural when you put it in. Now fold your fabric in half, bringing the long edges together, and then press it all the way down to the end. For my flowers, I used pinking shears to cut these scalloped edges. Now, if you don't have pinking shears, you can buy them on Amazon.com, Etsy.com, and many other sewing supply websites. If you don't want to get pinking shears, you can still just use regular scissors. Now, how I cut my scallop edge was I just did it freehand. Not every scallop needs to be exactly the same size. So when I cut, I started at about the midpoint of my strip right here and went up and down and up and down. As you're cutting your scalloped edge, as you're approaching the other end, you want to leave anywhere from 4 to 5 inches that you don't do the scalloped on. It's just a straight line to the end. Now this next step can either be done by sewing machine or by hand. If you're doing it by hand, you will need needle and thread, and make sure you put a knot at the end. If you're doing it by sewing machine, you're going to do a basting stitch. You need to set your basting stitch to about 15. And by sewing machine, do a little tack stitch or a little back stitch here before you get started to lock that thread in place. And then if you're doing it by hand, you just go in and out of the bottom edge of the fold line, or sewing machine, you go near that bottom fold line all the way down to the end. As you approach your scalloped edge, at the end here, you're going to, if you're doing by machine, stop stitching and pull it out, leaving a long tail of thread. Now, if you're doing this part by sewing machine, you're going to take a hold of just one thread, preferably the top thread. If you're doing it by hand, you're going to pull on both threads. So now you're just going to gather it up all the way to the end. You want to gather it up fairly close. Now you're going to take the stem and then take the end where it's just this long strip right here and put some glue on the fabric, and you're going to place it like that on the back here. And you still want some of this fabric exposed up here. I also put a little blob of glue in between the two fabrics to hold them together. And so now you're going to put glue along here and fold it over the top. So let's do it, going along here as soon as my glue gun starts to work. Okay, so I'm going to fold it over, trying not to get the glue on my fingers, and hold it there till it hardens a little bit. Now place some glue along here, and I'm going to put some over here too, and fold it over. Now place some glue along this bottom edge here, and then you're going to start wrapping it around and you're going to take this folded edge down here and keep going right underneath the previous folded edge. Now you're going to start placing some glue along some of the gathers section down here. And you want to leave it gathered. And you're going to take this bottom edge where the glue is right now and bring it on the bottom edge of the fold above it and just kind of squeeze it in. Don't straighten out your gathers. Now continue doing that, placing glue along here and then bringing the folded edge down here right below this folded edge. And you're going to keep doing that till you get towards the end. Now this is what it should look so far. I've gone about halfway down my strip, and again you just keep going till you get towards the end. I'm now towards the end, so at the very raw edge at the end of the strip, I'm going to put a little dab of glue and fold it over so that the raw edge does not show. And go ahead and put some glue on that last little bit. I'm going to put some up here and attach it. And right now, this is what it looks like. Now, one of the things you can do is to fold your petals over like it kind of is in reality. And if you're having a problem keeping a petal to stay folded over, just put a little dab of glue underneath so that it stays over. And just keep doing that till you like the way your flower looks. Now I'm going to show you how to make a leaf, and you just freehand draw it. I made mine approximately 3 inches wide at the widest point, and it's about maybe 2 to 2.5 inches at the bottom. You cut 2 for each leaf, and then at the bottom edge towards the back, you fold the edges over and either finger press it or do it with your iron if you want to. Now you're going to bring the pretty sides together and place pins to hold. Now stitch on these edges. You're going to leave this open. So back stitch here, stitch a 1/4 inch wide seam all the way around, and back stitch here. Make sure you leave this open. Now up here at the point, I'm going to cut some of this fabric off so that the point will look nicer. And then around all of your curved edges, you want to do little slits, cut little straight lines going in like this on all of the curved edges. After you've gone all the way around, then go ahead and turn it front side out. And when you're done, it should look like this. Now to put the leaf on, I recommend you put hot glue in between your layers and just press it flat. Then take the hot glue gun and put a long string of glue along this bottom edge. Then you're going to place it and wrap one edge around first and then the other edge over it. Okay, so I'm going to do that now. So excuse me if I fumble a lot. It's hard to stay on camera. So put it along there. Then I'm going to put it along here. Place it up. Fold one end around first, and then fold the other end over it. Okay, like that. So this is what it looks like so far right now. So after you've got it on, you could fold the flower over to make it look a little more realistic. And if you wanted to add more leaves, you could overlap this leaf and put another one if you would like. Now, in this little container, I put some floral styrofoam down in the bottom so that I could set these inside of the styrofoam. And now my flowers are all different sizes. My strips, some were cut maybe 2 inches, some were cut 4 inches, some 5, some 6. And I'm just going to turn it up so you can kind of see what it looks like a little bit. Okay? And so these are really fun. So you can make your own floral basket if you like. You can get those little glass jars and put some in. And they also make great little gifts. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you learned something new. Now, if you're interested in other beginners sewing projects, you want to scroll down below your YouTube screen to the description section. To see that description section, click on the words either more or show more. Click on it, it will expand open and you will see the links. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and make sure you go and check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl, this is Manny, and this is Scotty. See you next time.